Ethan Cole had been home from service for 3 years, but the silence of civilian life still felt foreign. His days revolved around his 9-year-old daughter, Lily, the light that pulled him out of the dark. The family reunion that afternoon wasn't something he'd wanted to attend. Crowds made him uneasy, memories still clawed at his mind. But Lily had begged, "Please, Daddy. Everyone will be there." So he went for her. Music played, cousins reconnected, and relatives he hadn't seen in years hugged him with pride. "Our hero," they'd say, and he'd smile politely. But inside, he felt anything but heroic. He had lost men, brothers, and one woman, a medic named Sarah, whose death still echoed through his nightmares. Just as he started to relax, a commotion erupted near the lake. Shouts pierced the laughter. "Someone's in the water," a boy cried. Ethan sprinted before anyone could react. His instincts took over, boots pounding the earth, heart racing with that old battlefield rhythm. In the lake, a woman struggled against the current, her arms flailing weakly. Without hesitation, he dove in. The cold water hit like glass, but he kept his focus, slicing through it until he reached her. Her hand was cold, almost lifeless, but he grabbed it and pulled with every ounce of strength. Finally, he dragged her ashore. The crowd gathered, gasping. The woman coughed violently, water spilling from her mouth. Ethan knelt beside her, performing CPR until her breathing steadied. When she finally opened her eyes, Ethan froze. Her face, familiar yet impossible. Soft auburn hair, scar above her brow, eyes the color of storm clouds. It couldn't be. But it was. Sarah. The medic he thought had died in Afghanistan. His chest tightened. "No, it can't be you." She stared at him, weak but certain. "Ethan." And then, she fainted in his arms. Sarah lay in the hospital bed, sunlight spilling across her pale face. Ethan sat beside her, his hands trembling. He'd stayed up all night replaying the impossible, her rescue, her voice, her name. She was alive. When she finally stirred, he leaned forward. "Sarah, how are you here?" Tears filled her eyes. "I never died, Ethan. I was captured. The convoy was ambushed, I was taken. They kept me for months. When I escaped, I didn't want anyone to find me. The trauma, the guilt. I disappeared." Ethan's heart twisted. All these years, he'd carried the weight of her death, blaming himself, losing sleep over the mission that went wrong. And she'd been alive, suffering in silence. He stood, pacing. "All this time, I thought I failed you." "You didn't," she whispered. "You saved me then and again today." Lily peeked into the room, clutching a drawing she'd made. Sarah smiled softly at the child, her gaze tender. "She looks just like you." "She's all I have," Ethan said. "Then you've done more than enough." Over the following days, the hospital became a bridge between past and present. Sarah slowly recovered, and with each conversation, the walls between them crumbled. She told him about her years hiding under a new identity, the nightmares that never left her, and how she'd been traveling through town that day by pure coincidence when she lost control near the lake. But Ethan didn't believe in coincidence anymore. When she was discharged, the family reunion resumed, this time quieter, more intimate. Sarah joined them, hesitant but welcomed warmly. Lily tugged her hand and said, "You're like a hero too." Sarah smiled through tears. Maybe we both found our way home. As the sun set behind them, Ethan watched the woman he once thought he'd lost laugh with his daughter. His heart, long scarred by war, finally found peace. He looked up at the sky and for the first time in years, whispered a prayer of gratitude. Sometimes fate doesn't take, it returns. And when it does, it brings back more than you ever dreamed you'd lost.